Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool pinball repair video for you. I'm using my big top voice. I usually do anyway because we're working on this 1973 Bally Circus pinball machine. It's even got me on the back glass. Look, I'm right there. See me? That's me right there. So we've been working on this Circus. Now, we did a video where we showed what condition it was in when we got it. We did a video where we worked on the bottom panel inside of it. We did a video where we worked on the bottom of the playfield. We did a video where we worked in the back box. We just did a video where we repainted part of the playfield, cleaned it all up, and got it looking nice, but the thing still doesn't work right. So in this video, the one you're tuned into right now, step right up, men and women, boys and girls, children of all ages, and we're gonna see if we can figure out what's wrong with it. So I'm gonna get a little pad of paper. We're gonna try to play the game. We're gonna see what it does and doesn't do. Write it down on the paper, and then we're systematically going to go through and fix every little part of it. What do you think about that? So what you might ask, well, what were you doing in all those other videos? We were kind of doing preventative maintenance. So the way we usually do it is we go through and we clean all of the switches in the cabinet, all of them, and there's a bunch of them you'll see here in a minute. Once that's been done, clean all the connections and all that. Once that's been done, if there's still something that's not working right, then we can track down the individual switch. But if you don't clean all that stuff first, you just have problems that pop up over and over again. You'll fix one thing and it won't be reliable, something else will break, and something else will break, like clockwork. But if you clean everything, you're basically draining the swamp. Now we're going to bash the alligators on the head, right? So that's where we're at now. So let me get a pad of paper. We'll try to play it. We'll write down what it's not doing and then work through fixing it. All right, folks, so I got my pad of paper. This is Mr. Mingus down the road brings us these pads of paper. Now, all of my European friends always just love these, so it's become a tradition, if you're new to our channel, that we have to show this whenever we're using it. If you need any paper printing, contact Mr. Mingus. All right, so when last we tried to play this thing, it wouldn't even start. It would reset things, but it wouldn't kick the ball out. So let's see where we're at now. Now, if you notice, these are at 0, these are at 0. We've got one here that is stuck on 1, and these are, 2 of them are not zeroed out. So when we started, it should 0 out. And you can also notice that there are no credits on it, but we have it set on free play. So let's see if it does anything. Alright, so let's see how it's just continuously spinning, continuously spinning. It's because it's trying to reset that one to 0, and it will not reset to 0. So that's the first thing we need to figure out. Okay, so I want to show you what's going on. It's hard to show you right now, but this coil is pulled in. So it's pulling in, but it won't release. And when it does, from time to time it does, right? And so it eventually gets where it's going, right? So why would it pull in and then not release? So let's look on the schematics, see if we can figure that out. Okay, folks, so this is the PDF file of the schematics for Circus. You see they come on these big, huge sheets of paper. If you missed our first video, it was torn into a million pieces by little mice or rats or something, so all of this was taken out, so we don't have a physical copy of it. If you do want a physical copy of pretty much any schematics, you can get them from the Pinball Resource. Go to pbresource.com, and they've got tons of stuff for old EM pinball machines. They're our favorite place to buy stuff from. But there's other places you can get them too. Lots of people sell these. But if you can use the PDF and you're fine with that, then you don't need that. Now, where did we get the PDF? We got it from ipdb.org. That's the Internet Pinball Database.org. And so they have a copy of these online. They have a lot of the Bally ones, a lot of the Williams ones. They don't have the Gottlieb ones because the license is still owned. Basically, Gottlieb doesn't like those being on the internet, so you have to pay for those. But Bally and Williams, usually you can download them for free if you can find them. Some of them aren't out there. But I believe you can get just about any schematics from the Pinball Resource. They have an incredible collection of them. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in on it and find the score reels because we're trying to figure out why that one is sticking in. Okay, so that is the relay that was stuck in. So that it can get power two different ways. One way is down here through the 10-point relay. So through the 10-point relay, and then this player up disc. When the player up disc turns around, it connects the relay to either player 1, player 2, player 3, or player 4. So through the 10-point relay, it can turn. It's not doing that right now, though, because we're trying to reset. So it's nothing with that. So here is the other way that it can get power. It can get power when the number 2, see number 1, number 2, when the number 2 score reset relay pulls in. Now, if you may have saw it, but while it's resetting, the number 1 and number 2 score relays are just constantly pulling it and releasing over and over again. Clack, 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 just over and over and over again. So it was doing that. So this switch should be open. See, that's a normally open switch. And then when the relay pulls in, it closes it and sends power through it. And that's how all of them work. And all the other ones were resetting properly. So it's something specific just to this one reel. Okay? And so as that pulls in, if this switch on the second player relay is closed, I keep saying relay, it's really the second player score reel. If that switch is closed, then the power will go through and pull the coil in. So what makes it release? Well, it's getting its power through here. When the number 2 relay turns off, it should de-energize it. Well, the number 2 relay is turning on and off constantly the whole time. So this is kind of a weird one. It could be that switch is adjusted just a little bit too close, so that when the relay pulls off, it starts letting go of the coil. Like it starts letting go, but before it lets go, it pulls in again and sends the power through again and grabs it. So it could be that instead of going the plunger pulling in and then going out, pulling in and going out, pulling in and going out, which is what turns the score reel, that it's pulling in and then falling a little bit out and then pulling back in again, because this is closing too quickly. So that could be it. So whenever it gets around to 0, it will open this switch, and then the reset no longer makes it turn. So the reset's not making any of the other ones turn because they've all got back to 0 and opened up these individual switches. So it could be that, or it could be a physical thing where it's physically sticking or something like that. So I'll check that, and it could be a magnetic thing. Sometimes if it's magnetized or something, but that doesn't happen too often. I think maybe this switch is just a little bit too tight, so we might have to loosen that up a little bit so that whenever the relay, so that it's open and not connected, and when the relay pulls in, it connects it, and then when the relay lets it go of it, it opens it again. If the switch is real close together, as soon as that relay pulls in, it's pulling the switch in, and then when the relay lets out, it only lets it loose for just a split second and then goes back in. So it could be that, I don't know. But let me try. I think what I'll do first is just try to mechanically move it by hand and see if it's physically sticking. Okay, so here's the offending score reel. So you can actually reach around to the back and grab the plunger and pull it in. So if I do it mechanically just by hand, remember we rebuilt all these, it's working perfectly and it doesn't get stuck, right? Which would lead me to believe that it's not a mechanical thing and it's not a magnetic thing, because it'd probably do it if it's magnetic too, right? So I can sit here all day and do this and it turns every time. So what ours is doing is it's going in and sticking and staying like that. Now you see that little end of stroke switch down there that it opens? See, it's closed and then it opens it. All that has to do with is turning off the 10-point relay. That's a whole other thing. But that's not what's going on. But an interesting thing about the way these are wired is you can reset them at any time. So since all of them are back to 0 except this one, if I hit the number 2 score reset, we actually get the same thing. So so it's stuck. Why is that? So now we can look at the switch in there and see if it's that switch. So if I mess with this, that's not doing it. that switch back there is open. So it's not that switch. So how else can it get power? It must be getting it through the 10-point relay. So this red wire can come up and energize it. Interesting one. I've never had one do that. Let me see if I can tell. The coil does not feel like it's energized. I think it may be a magnetism thing. You know, the coil makes it makes a magnet, and it pulls the thing in, and then maybe there's some kind of residual magnetism after it does that. All right, so what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to take this bracket off, I'm going to take the plunger out, clean it, get everything nice and clean. If you do have something magnetized, you can heat it up, or you can beat it with a hammer, and it'll make it where it is not magnetized anymore. Dead serious. That's what you can do. So I'll take the end of it off, clean it really good. I might tap it with a hammer a little bit, and we'll put it back together and see if that gets it to not stick. Okay, folks, so after taking it apart, the plunger was kind of sticky, like somebody had sprayed something on it. A lot of times people will spray WD-40 or something on these machines. I haven't noticed that really on this one, but it could be that somebody did that at some point with this one particular reel for whatever reason. So it was a little bit sticky. Now, when I was moving it by hand, you know, I was just making it close, but whenever it's doing that electrically, it's much more violent, you know, so the thing's hitting the bracket pretty forcibly. So I guess that was just making it stick. But now, we're going to simulate resetting it. I've got it on 1, right? So watch what happens. And eventually it stops because it got back to 0. So it can only reset until 0. But it doesn't seem to be sticking at all now. And I'm actually testing that when the score reset relay pulls in, it does get it back to 0 and stops on 0. So that one's working fine. You could technically do that with every single score reel if you wanted to, but you know, it's more fun to test them all at one time. All right, so we've done that. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so we've got it at 1. I turned the machine off, so it was at game over. We're going to try resetting it again. That's more like it. And it kicked the ball out. Now I have to tell you, I've been cheating on you. Yep. I actually fixed the ball kick out thing in the previous video. Because if you watched a few videos back, whenever we tried to play it, I guess on the first video or whatever, the ball wouldn't kick out. So I thought I might know what that might be, and so I actually fixed it under this apron whenever I was doing the play field. But don't worry, I filmed it for you, so I'll show you what we figured out on that, and that we just finally tested. All right, folks, so I'm actually filming this on the video before this when we were doing the play field, but I'd save it for the repair video. If you remember when we tried to play it, the ball wouldn't kick out. Well, if you look, I see this from time to time. It's a physical problem on this particular game. If this gets rusty down here, you get in a situation where this thing, if the coil tries to pull in, it can't move very good. So it gets stuck. So sometimes it's just simply you have to oil this and clean it up a little bit. So I'm going to clean off this rust. Remember, this is the one that had the rusty ball in it. Look at that crap. And then look how nice the playfield is now. Bad idea, right? So I'm going to clean up this rust with a wire brush. I'm going to clean this up and oil it and get it where it moves nice and well before we put the apron back on. Okay, so that's all the rust I could remove from the trough. It's one of those things where, you know, the ball rolls over it every time, but it's just right in the middle. So, wish that was a little better. That would be something that it might be worth replacing just because it, I mean, I've got it nice and smooth, but you're touching bare metal with the pinball. So it's one of those things where you need to check the pinball from time to time to make sure it doesn't get this bad. Crazy. Okay, and then this well-oiled, right? So it should be super loose. This spring here should be enough to quickly return it back. Nice and loose, like it's supposed to be. Okay, so now I can mount the apron back on and finish the last video, but you'll keep watching me do the repair video. So now that we know that that works, it kicked the ball right out just like it's supposed to. It reset the bonus back to 100 like it's supposed to, or at 1000, I'm sorry. I suppose we're in ball 1, but it doesn't say ball in play, ball number 1 down there. I believe the reason for that is the bulbs just burn out. So I'm going to take the back glass off, and we're going to swap those light bulbs. I haven't messed with any of the light bulbs in the back glass yet, so let's look at that. That'll be the next little thing. So I took the back glass out. As you can see, it is in very nice shape. Pretty much flawless. It might have a little bit, I don't know. If you looked around, you might find a little scratch somewhere or something, but it's in pretty good shape. And then back here, it's just a little dirty. Nobody's messed with it in many, many years. So I'm going to go through and replace all of the light bulbs. So you see a few of them are burnt out. Sometimes you can get them to work by moving them, but not that one. So ball in play number 1, I think that bulb is probably just burnt out. So I'll swap them, and we'll see if that makes it look any better. I'm going to leave this one blinker in there. We have this big problem right now where you can't buy those blinking bulbs anymore. Horrible. So let me swap all the bulbs, and then we'll see if we can get that ball in play number 1 to pop on. Okay, folks, so after cleaning it, replacing all the bulbs, the light still doesn't come on. So there's the ball count unit disc. This is the ball that will not come on. But if you look really close, the way it gets its power down through here is through a switch on the game over relay, which also gives power to the player up unit disc, and the first player light is also not working. So almost certainly whatever connection at the game over relay that handles that is the problem. So we're looking for a switch that goes 2 ways, a make and break switch that has a gray and red wire, a blue and yellow wire, and a brown wire. So a brown wire will be the middle blade, and it'll be gray and yellow on one side and blue and yellow on the other side. That switch must not be making good contact. So it's this bottom set of switches here, and sure as you're born, if I touch that together a little better, it makes the light come on the back. So I need to adjust that a little closer, and that should fix that. Alright, that is much better. So we got the player 1, the ball 1 light on, and we've got the, I'll put the glass back on in a second, but that's a 1 player can play light, but this is the player up light, and it's on now. That's a 2 player up, 3 player up, 4 player up. You'll notice there's a light here off and a light here off. I suspect that that goes along with these, and that goes along with these, and it only lights up whenever the that player is illuminated. So we're going to try to start more than a 1 player game, though, just to see if this light moves. 2 players, 3 players, and we got our weird bulb going. 4 players, and got that weird bulb going, and I forgot to put 2 light bulbs in. So I'll throw those in. I think we'll go ahead and put the back glass back in, though, after that. Okay, so that's much more like it. Looks pretty good with all the burnout lights, light bulbs back in, too. Okay, so let's, we're just going to try some scoring stuff. So it has kicked the ball out. There's no trough switch that we have to hit. Some games have that. You'll find, too, after you clean one of these, once you lift it up, all the dust, dirt, any little thing that you didn't get cleaned ends up right up here at the top of the thing. Okay, so I'm just going to score stuff and see if it actually scores on the playfield. I mean, on the reel. So this should be 100 points. And it is. And we're hearing something down here. that's kind of weird. It's not, you know, it's not every time we hit it that advances. It says advances bonus when lit. Maybe that's this one. Yes, I don't know why. Sometimes when you hit it, it advances, and sometimes it doesn't. So we'll keep our eye on that. But we are getting 100 points. 3. And the score reels seem to roll over properly. Seems like everything, the 100 rollovers, all 6 of those seem to work just fine. Okay, there's a little stand-up one somewhere. I thought I saw one here and here. Okay, those are working. Is there another one? The noise you're hearing, the bzzz, as there's a relay pulling in somewhere that's a little noisy. Pretty cool. All right, this says 500 points, and it lights the right bonus lane, which is probably this, and the 1000 bumper, which is probably this. So I should get 500 points, and I did, and it lit the right bonus lane and the 1000 point pop bumper. So let's hit the 1000 point pop bumper. Seems to work. Let's see if they roll over. Oh, they do. Okay, then I suppose this one will do the same. 10,880. Lit the pop bumper and the thing. So let's see if that pop bumper scores right. It does. Advanced bonus when lit. So I guess if I hit this, it should advance the bonus, but we might be all the way maxed out actually. Yeah. So when I hit it, it doesn't do anything. But I believe that's probably because we're all the way up. Now, I wonder if there's a way to... There's no way to score the bonus without losing the ball. So we can't test that right now. But 100 in advances bonus. Gave us the 100. Same. 1,000 and lights left bonus lane, but it's already lit. 1,000 and lights right bonus lane. Okay. Advance bonus and give you 500 points. That worked. 1,000. That worked. Advance bonus and 500 points. That actually gave us too many. 18,290. Okay. It's consistently giving us 600 points. Well, you run into some weird stuff. Left in lane gives 600 points. And the right one is not, I don't think. No, it is. I wonder if it's traded the advance bonus for giving you an extra 100 points. But if that's true, wouldn't that be doing the same thing? 100 in advances bonus. An advance bonus when lit doesn't... Oh, you know what? There's no switch there. It just looks a lot like a switch. It must be these. So 100 and advances the bonus when lit, but it was doing that earlier when it wasn't lit. So there's something going on there. So let's write rollovers at top, advance, bonus. Look, if you guys can't read this, it's just because you're not very good at reading, I guess. Rollovers at top, advance, bonus. I'm left-handed, and here's the reason why left-handed people have such sloppy handwriting. It's because you start at the left side of the page, and there's nothing holding the paper down right now. So I can't hold the paper down, and you screw it all up. So you try to hold it down with your pinky, and it just doesn't work very well. So everything gets all crazy and scratchy, and that's why they, you know, left-handed people write upside down and stuff. It's because you're on the wrong side of the paper. If you're writing from this side, you can do it like right-handed people. We should just, all of us lefties ought to get together and just write everything backwards. And then if you people can't read it, well, that's your own fault for not being a lefty. Rollover's the top advanced bonus when they shouldn't. I got straight A's one year in school and got a B. I mean, one semester or quarter or whatever back in elementary school, and got a B in handwriting. So close. All right, so the rollovers at the top are advancing the bonus when they should not, because that light wasn't lit yet. Did I do the middle one yet? Yeah, the middle one would have gave me 1,000 and lit the left and right bonus. Okay, 100 points when lit. That's doing like it should. What else do we have left? Got this one. Gives us 10 points. That one gives us 10 points. I need to see if the kickers work. Will the kickers kick? They're kicking. It's looking pretty kickable. Our relay went off that was buzzing. Okay, special when lit. I don't know what the special is set to. I'm trying to see if that's the... Is that the knocker I'm hearing? Anyway, the special might be set to a free game, but if it's in your house... Oh, I guess we can just see on the back glass. Yeah. So it moved to 9. And if I hit this one, it does not, because it's not lit. Okay, so that seems fine. How do we get our double bonus? And how do we get our extra ball? I guess maybe we'll read the instructions. Advancing the bonus will light special lane light. Special when lit will score 1 replay. Collect bonus when the ball leaves the playfield. Okay. Advancing bonus will light extra ball target lights. Hitting target when lit will score 1 extra ball. Shoot the ball to the light left and right bonus lanes by going through the top skill lanes or hitting the indicated targets. Whoop, it's all blurry. Insert coin and weight, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, so I guess the only way to get the double bonus and the same player shoots again is before you max out the bonus. Possibly. And the extra ball when lit only lights whenever you are at a certain spot. I saw it lit earlier, but... Okay, so we tested all we can, so we're going to drop the ball and see if we get our bonus. So we've got 19,000 points for a bonus, which should put us at 58,400. That was lit. Perfect. See how that jumped over to the second player? So why did those light? It's because it got back down to a certain spot, and there's a certain spot on the bonus where it lights up those. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing on the second player, and I'll see if it has the same problems, like this advanced bonus, and give you 500. Let's see if that does it. It gives you 600 points, and it did advance the bonus, but it... So it's advancing the bonus 5 times and giving us 600 points. Very weird, okay? And then these ones at the top should not be advancing the bonus with that light out. But they do. Okay, so I think that's our main 2 problems and the focus of the camera. Okay, so a lot of times whenever on an EM, whenever they have these switches that do 2 things, the way they make that work is there's actually 2 switches that you roll over. So whenever you roll over the left return lane, you actually hit 2 switches. So one of the switches is connected, so on the schematics, if you're not familiar with schematics, one line is where it's getting the power to the coil, and then the other line is where it's getting the other side of the power, and then there's switches in between that connect this side to the coil. The other side of the coil is connected to the power already. So the left return lane is that switch there. So power connects through the switch, so that's when the ball rolls through the left return lane. That connects, and it sends power directly to the bonus advance relay. So the bonus advance relay is held in place by the bonus advance relay. So it holds itself on until the bonus unit end of stroke switch opens, which it does on each click. So in other words, when you roll over that, it should give you 1 bonus, but it's giving us 5 bonus. It's giving us a bonus every time we roll over that switch. I mean, so it's giving us 5 bonus steps or 6 bonus steps, something like that. Okay? So you roll through, it should give you 1, and it says that on the playfield. It says advanced bonus and 500 points. Okay, so one of the switches should be giving you 1 bonus pulse, because this should turn itself off through here as soon as the bonus unit end of stroke switch opens. So you should get 1 bonus stroke, but we're getting 5 or 6. Okay, then there is another left return lane rollover switch. They're stacked on top of each other. That connects to power through the switch and turns on the 500 point relay, which presumably would give you 500 points, right? The 500 point relay holds itself on until this switch opens on the score motor. So, you know, it's on a cam with 5 little bumps on it, so it turns itself on until it does the 5 bumps, and then once it gets back to the spot where it opens it up. So it should be giving you 500 points, but we're getting 600 points. Well, why would it be doing that? What's going on? Well, our other problem is probably what's causing this problem. So that's one of the reasons. The way I usually do it is I write down everything we run into, and then I try to figure it out, because a lot of the problems are related. But what I've been trying to do in a few of the videos is, when I run into a problem, try to fix it right then, just to make it entertaining on the video. But it's harder to do it that way, because you run into things like this that once you have all the problems written down, it's easier to figure out what must be going on. So the other thing that I wrote down was the rollovers at the top advance the bonus when they shouldn't. Wonk, wonk, wonk. Okay, so here is the left lane rollover buttons and the right lane rollover buttons. Those are the buttons at the top. Now when you hit those, they should just give you 100 points until you turn on the light on that lane, and then it should advance the bonus and give you 100 points. Do you see where this is going? Okay, so these are always giving you a bonus, or most of the time they give you a bonus when they shouldn't. They should just give you 100 points. So left lane, let's do just the left one. Left lane rollover button, there's 3 of them. They're all wired together, so if you hit any of them, it connects that switch, connecting power from there and turning on what they call the left lane relay. Okay, the left lane relay holds itself on until the 100 point relay opens up. So the 100 point relay has a switch on it. And so why do they do that? It's so that if you hit this button real quick, like you roll over it lightning fast, and it pulls this in just for a second, well, then it wouldn't have time to give you all the points and make everything else happen. So it holds itself on, so you get a nice full close, and it does that until the 100 point relay does the same thing. They want to make sure the 100 point relay has I would love to know what that's called, but basically the things all lock in place until the next thing, the thing that it's trying to accomplish farther down the line accomplishes, and then it cascades back and unlocks everything. So it pulls in and then holds itself on as long as the 100 point relay hasn't pulled in. And then the 100 point, undoubtedly, this is going to tell us that it makes the 100 point relay pull in, and all of this stays held in until the 100 point relay pulls all the way in and opens that normally closed switch. So it's, and you know, the 100 point relay, by the way, holds itself in until the score reel pulls all the way in, and that little end of stroke switch we were looking at earlier opens up. So it's kind of like this this cascading kind of thing where everything locks itself on just to make sure that you get a full signal on everything. It's like a pull-up resistor on a modern circuit. So it's supposed to be at 5. They have a pull-up resistor on it so that if you sink it to ground, it pulls it back up to 5. Things like that. If you know a little bit more about solid state stuff. Once you start messing with these, you see where, oh my God, they took these relays and they turned them into integrated circuits. What in the world? Wow, that's pretty cool, right? So it's the same kind of thing. It's basically like a pull-up resistor. A very, very tricky one, but I have figured it out. This bonus advance can also be turned on by the upper left target and the upper right target. See how weird this looks right here? So let's look at the upper right target and specifically. So it gets power from here through a switch on itself on that target, and it hits the bonus advance relay. There's also a switch. Basically, when that gets hit, all 3 blades of that switch smash together. So this same power source goes to the bonus advance relay, and then also goes through here or here, and it says go to F22, which is this. So that also turns on the 100-point relay. So I can't really show you this too well because I can see it with my naked eye, but you can't really see it with the camera. I can't get it in there. See this left top switch? It should give you 100 and advance the bonus. This is the one that all 3 blades of the switch smash together. So you can kind of see in there. And whenever I hit it, you can't really tell, but it's making 3 blades touch together. They are completely separate and they touch together when it hits it. On this one, the first 2 blades are touching. It's just adjusted a little bit off. They're just barely touching. And so when you hit it, it adds that 3rd blade in, which gives you 100 points, but the bonus ones are already touching. Right? So I need to separate that out. Now, why is that giving us 600 points? That's a good question. We'll fix that and then we'll see if it's still giving us 600 points. So when I cleaned it out the other day, I found a whole bunch of broken glass in it, which usually means that somebody broke the glass top on it at some point. This piece here was still in the bottom, but there was a little tiny, much smaller than this piece just now, jammed in front of that, way down in there where you couldn't see it, that was making it touching. It was making it sit back just a little bit where it was touching. Now they're both, all 3 of the fingers are separate. So let's try this again, shall we? Let's see if we get anything different this time. And by the way, we've got one other. Whenever you play more than a 1-player game, that reel is doing the same thing the other one was doing. So we're going to have to do the same with it. And we know it's the same because the wheel is stuck on like the other one was. So if I just roll it, if you can free-wheel it, and for those of you that are long-term viewers, that's also how George gave us that extra 100 points the other night. Okay, so it stepped up to 1,000. Let's see if we're still getting 600 points. We're only getting 500, and it only gave us 1,000. 100 in advances bonus. Did not advance the bonus, though. Try it again. 100 in advances bonus. That's not doing its thing. 100. That's working. And then it finally advanced the bonus. I'm hearing something buzz when it hits it. Maybe it's trying to pull in the advanced bonus. Eventually you hit this and it does it. So no matter what, that will not advance the bonus. Okay. That 100 in advances bonus, though, is still something screwy going on with that. So let's try this again. 500 in advances bonus. It worked, but it didn't advance the bonus. 500 in advances bonus. Worked, but didn't advance the bonus. Okay, so we're getting closer, I think. We got it now where it's only giving us 500 points, but it's not advancing the bonus for some reason. So let's figure out why that would be. Okay, so when I put the camera down, I lifted up the playfield, and the buzzing noise was the advanced bonus coil was pulled in. It just hadn't released, which is the exact same thing that score reel was doing, and that score reel is still doing. Right? You can see how that wrapper is charred, too, where this has been an issue for a while. And whenever those two switches were stuck together on this stand-up switch right next to it just now, that was also causing that to always be locked in. So what's been going on is we've been scoring when it lets go. So I guess we got to figure out what's making it let go, why it's supposed to let go, what is supposed to kill the power to that, etc., etc., and that'll be our problem. Okay, so the bonus unit step-up solenoid, that's the one that's locking on. What turns it on is the bonus advance relay. Okay. This part over here is what makes it step back up to 1,000 after it resets at the end. So at the end of a ball, it counts all the way down to 0 to give you all the points. And then whenever it does, it closes this switch on the bonus 0 relay. Well, it causes that to happen. And then the out hole relay is closed because the ball's sitting in it. And when the score motor turns around, it adds 1,000 points back to it. So you start at 1,000. Okay, but the way that it steps up, that it moves up the bonus thing, which is the one that's stuck in, is the bonus advance relay. A switch on it. So the bonus advance relay is this one here. That is turned on by the targets that I was saying were stuck together and all of that. And the right return lane rollover and the left return lane rollover, etc., etc., etc. So the bonus advance relay holds itself on through a switch until the bonus unit end of stroke switch opens up. So if I hit the right return lane rollover, it will turn on the bonus advance relay, which will turn on the bonus step-up coil, which will pull all this in and make it step up. And when it does, this bar over here will open this end of stroke switch, which kills power to the bonus advance relay. But what happens is it sticks. Oh, I might be too far up. We got to reset it a little bit. Okay, let's try it now. So watch that. So it's stuck on. It's because the bonus advance relay was stuck on. And what made it unstick is because I accidentally hit the flipper button, and the vibration of the flipper made it do it. So let's try it again. I'll try not to hit the flipper button this time. So that time it worked right. That time it's stuck. Okay. So look, it's stuck closed, even though the end of stroke switch is open. And if you feel it, if you touch it, there's no electricity running through it. It's just stuck. Now, if you've been watching all of these Bally EMs that I've been working on, I've ran into this like 3 or 4 times recently. On the Freedom pinball machine, on the 4 million BC pinball machine, and now on this Circus. Basically, some of these relays get magnetized and dirty and just stick on like that. That causes you all kinds of freaking problems. like this, and it will burn up that coil. That coil is not burned up yet, but it's getting there. It is getting there. If we keep playing with it without getting it, it should, as soon as it pulls in, it should open this switch and kill itself and turn it off. But luckily, they used a big old thick coil that hasn't burned up yet, but it's been turned on, you know, for, you know, earlier whenever we were testing it, when it was humming that whole time, it was probably on that whole time, so not good. You can get a new coil though. Worst case, if we burn it up, we can buy a new one. But if you look, kind of looks like somebody's already replaced it at one point anyway. Okay, so I'm going to take that relay apart, clean it, and then put it back together. So what do I mean by apart? This blade right here gets dirty. So if you should probably do it with the thing off. I'm trying to leave it on so it looks good for the video. You can take that out and clean it, and also clean. See the dirt on the circular part there. If that's dirty, it'll make it do that where it sticks. So I'm gonna take a file that a little more flat. I'm also going to use the file to clean up the inside of that a little bit, and then we'll put it back together and see how it acts then. Alright, so I cleaned it a little bit, took 2 minutes. I found the spring that I threw across the room whenever it acted like it was going to bite me. Put it back together. So let's try this again. Like I said, we've already been through this on about 5 different machines. Now people, you're about to hear a whole bunch of chimes. If you don't want to hear chimes, what the hell are you watching a pinball video for, right? Okay, so I'm going to just hit it and hit it and hit it, and let's see if it sticks. Perfect. 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 Not sticking. Voila. Okay, folks, so it's also been advancing the ball in play, so it's up to ball number 3. I think we've about got it now, though. I think we've figured it all out. So 100 in advances bonus. It's advancing the bonus now. These ones with it lit, it's easily advancing the bonus now. Oh, I need to try the extra ball when lit if we get an opportunity to do that again. Extra ball when lit. Okay. If I hit it, it now says same player shoots again. Same player shoots again. That buzzing you're hearing is the one of the relays is noisy, but it's supposed to be on. Let's try draining the ball. We're going to get an extra ball, so it should stay on ball and play number 3. It's giving us the double bonus. Popped it back out. We're still on ball number 3. I don't know why the double bonus, I don't know how that got lit up. I don't know what you do to do that. And also the advanced bonus when lit is staying on now, so I don't know why that is. I missed it. Ball and play 4. Oh, you know what it must have been? It must have been at ball 3 you get a double bonus. Because there's no way to score it on the play field. So it must just be you get a double bonus on ball number 3. So we still got our one reel there that I have to mess with, but we're ball and play number 4. The flippers are all right. They're that weird linear version that Bally used for a while. If you saw us work under the play field on one of the earlier videos, you saw that. Points. Ball and play number 5. We're getting our double bonus again, and the lights are already lit at the top. It's just doing that so you get a better score on a couple balls. Yeah. Right out the out lane. Game over. And look, our match is working. All right. Very cool. All right, so I hope that helps you a little bit with troubleshooting if you work on something similar. I had a third thing that I wrote down. The 100-point relay stuck on the 4th player. But the reason that it did that was because it's the same problem with the score reel. The 100-point relay would pull the score reel in, and then it was staying stuck in, and so you couldn't score 100 points again because the score was already pulled in. So it's the same problem that we had on the second player one. So I should be able to get that going. And then what I'm going to do is for the next couple of days I'll play it a little bit and just see if other things pop up. We'll see if the flippers are strong enough, etc., etc. See if we can get some of those buzzing relays to quiet down a little bit. And then we'll put the glass top back on it, and we'll have the customer come pick it up. But we like to play it a little bit just to make sure everything's all right before they take it back home. Because I'd rather it break here than break at their house. If it breaks here, it's no big problem. If it breaks at their house, big problem. We also had the 100,000 point light come on. So once you go over 99,990 points, it gives you 100,000. All right, folks, so leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. Make sure to give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it for you. We'd like to thank everybody that's been using our Amazon links. If you don't know about that, down below there is a link to Amazon. And if you follow that link, it takes you to things that we're trying to sell on Amazon. Basically, links of things that we use in our videos and stuff. But if you're going to buy anything else, if you click that link before you go, it gives us a tip. So we appreciate everybody that's been doing that. Some guy the other day bought something for a musical instrument. Reeds for a saxophone or something. So somebody's in a marching band and thought of us. Hey, we appreciate it, buddy, whoever you were. That's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen anybody buy on there. We can't tell who's buying what, but we can tell what they're buying, so it's kind of fun. It's like its own little game. Plus, we get money. Boy, I love that. So thank you to everybody that's been doing that. And then last but not least, oh yeah, check out our website, lionsarcade.com. We've got a lot of our links on there to things that we use in our videos. And then also we have our t-shirts on there, and we have all of our arcade games that are for sale, or that are coming up. You can see those on there too. So go check that out, lionsarcade.com. But last but not least, don't forget my brother Donnie, who is quite literally my brother. So if you like watching us work on these old pinball machines, you probably would like my brother Donnie and I working on old buildings. He's got a couple buildings that we bought in a small town near here in the downtown area that we're fixing up and renovating, trying to help out the town and make money doing it. But we're just trying to help out the town, people. That's the main thing. So go check that out. You might enjoy it. It's crazier than this channel. So we'll see you on the next one. I hope you enjoyed it so far. I'll do one more video of us playing it, since this is such an interesting machine, in my opinion. So I'll see you on the next video.